Sir, my mom didn't wake up.
The little girl whispered, her tiny hand tugging at Austin Beckett's janitor uniform. He looked down at 5-year-old Ellie Ashford, her blonde curls messy, her blue eyes filled with tears. It was 6 a.m., December 23rd, and the executive floor of Ashford Industries should have been empty. Austin's heart pounded. Ellie's mother was Victoria Ashford, the CEO, the woman who owned this entire 50-story building. "Show me now," Austin said, dropping his mop. Ellie led him down the executive hallway, her small hand gripping his calloused fingers. Austin's mind raced. He'd worked here for 6 months, ever since he moved to New York with his 7-year-old daughter Maya after his wife Sarah died. Janitorial work wasn't what he'd planned, but it paid the bills, and the overnight shift meant he could be home when Maya got out of school. They reached Victoria's private office. The door stood ajar. Austin pushed it open and saw her collapsed on the leather sofa, still wearing yesterday's burgundy business suit. Her skin was pale, her breathing shallow. Empty pill bottles lay scattered on the glass coffee table alongside an untouched glass of whiskey. "Miss Ashford?" Austin knelt beside her, checking her pulse. Weak but steady. He grabbed his phone and dialed 911, then gently shook her shoulder. "Victoria, can you hear me?" Her eyelids fluttered. "Ellie?" Her voice was barely audible. "I'm here, Mommy," Ellie sobbed, crawling onto the sofa. "Ambulance is coming," Austin said. "What did you take?" Victoria's eyes focused on him slowly. "Sleeping pills. Too many. Didn't mean to. Just wanted to sleep. Couldn't stop thinking about—" Her words trailed off. Austin kept her talking while they waited, asking simple questions, keeping her conscious. When the paramedics arrived, he explained what he'd found. They loaded Victoria onto a stretcher. Ellie clung to Austin's leg, terrified. "I'm going with my mom," Ellie said firmly. "Sweetheart, they need space to work," Austin said gently. "How about you come with me? We'll follow them to the hospital." At Mount Sinai Hospital, Austin sat in the waiting room with Ellie curled up on his lap, exhausted. He'd called Maya, told her he'd be late, asked his neighbor, Mrs. Chen, to watch her. Now he was here with a 5-year-old he barely knew, waiting for news about a woman he'd only ever seen from a distance. A doctor approached. "Miss Ashford is stable. She'll recover fully. We're keeping her for observation." He glanced at Ellie. "Are you family?" Austin started. "He's my friend," Ellie said sleepily. "He saved my mommy." The doctor nodded. "She's asking for her daughter." Austin carried Ellie to Victoria's room. She lay in the hospital bed, IV in her arm, looking fragile and human in a way that contrasted sharply with the commanding CEO he'd seen striding through the building. When she saw Ellie, tears spilled down her cheeks. "Baby, I'm so sorry," Victoria whispered as Ellie climbed onto the bed beside her. "You scared me, Mommy." Victoria looked at Austin over Ellie's head. "Thank you. I don't even know your name." "Austin Beckett. I work the night shift, custodial services." "You saved my life." Austin shifted uncomfortably. "Your daughter saved your life. She came and found help." Victoria stroked Ellie's hair, fresh tears falling. "I've been working so hard since my husband died 2 years ago, trying to prove I could run the company alone, that I didn't need anyone. I forgot what really mattered. Last night I just wanted to stop thinking, to sleep for once. I took too many pills without realizing." "It happens," Austin said quietly. "After my wife died, I had some dark nights too. If it wasn't for my daughter Maya, I don't know if I would have made it." Victoria met his eyes. "You understand." "Yeah, I do." The moment hung between them. 2 people who'd lost their spouses, both struggling to raise daughters alone, both trying to survive. A nurse entered. "Miss Ashford needs rest. You can visit tomorrow." Austin nodded. "Come on, Ellie. Let's let your mom sleep." "Will you be there when I wake up?" Victoria asked, and Austin realized she wasn't talking to Ellie. "If you want me to be." "I do." The next morning was Christmas Eve. Austin returned to the hospital with Maya, who'd insisted on coming. They brought coffee, donuts, and a stuffed reindeer for Ellie from the hospital gift shop. Victoria was sitting up, looking better, with Ellie colouring at the foot of her bed. "You came back," Victoria said when Austin entered. "Said I would." He introduced Maya, who immediately sat next to Ellie and started colouring with her. Over the next few hours, they talked, really talked. Victoria told him about the crushing pressure of running Ashford Industries alone, about the board members who questioned every decision, about CFO Richard Langford who'd been pushing to oust her and take control. She talked about her late husband Marcus, about the loneliness of the penthouse apartment where she and Ellie rattled around like ghosts. Austin told her about Sarah, about the car accident that killed her, about working 3 jobs to pay off medical debt, about finally landing in New York hoping for a fresh start. He talked about Maya's nightmares, about parent-teacher conferences where he was the only dad, about reading bedtime stories and braiding hair and trying to be both mother and father. "You braid hair?" Victoria smiled for the first time. Terribly. Maya's teachers probably think she's being raised by wolves. Victoria laughed, and the sound was warm and genuine. "Ellie won't let me touch her hair, says I pull too hard." "Because you probably do it like you're negotiating a merger. Hair requires gentleness." Unlike mergers. Unlike mergers." Their eyes met, and something shifted. Something that had nothing to do with gratitude or circumstance, and everything to do with recognition, like seeing yourself in another person's eyes. Victoria was discharged that afternoon with instructions to rest and follow up with a therapist. As they prepared to leave, she turned to Austin. "I know this is forward, but would you and Maya like to spend Christmas with us? Ellie hasn't stopped talking about Maya, and I—" She hesitated. "I don't want to be alone, not this year." Austin thought about their empty apartment, about the small plastic tree he'd bought from the drugstore, about heating up frozen dinners and pretending everything was normal. "We'd love to." Christmas morning at Victoria's penthouse was unlike anything Austin had imagined. The apartment was stunning, floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking Central Park, a 12-foot tree decorated by professionals, presents piled high. But what made it special was the laughter. Maya and Ellie running around in matching reindeer pajamas Victoria had bought. Victoria making pancakes while Austin helped, their shoulders bumping in the kitchen. Building a gingerbread house that collapsed spectacularly, watching old Christmas movies curled up on the sofa, the girls between them, warm and safe and happy. "This is the best Christmas ever," Maya whispered to Austin. "Yeah, sweetheart, it really is." That evening, after the girls fell asleep in Ellie's room, Austin and Victoria sat by the tree with glasses of wine. The city sparkled below them, snow falling softly against the windows. "Thank you," Victoria said, "for everything, for saving me, for being here, for reminding me what matters." "You don't have to thank me." "Yes, I do. I was drowning, Austin. I'd convinced myself that success meant doing everything alone, that needing help was weakness. You showed me that's not true." Austin set down his wine glass. "After Sarah died, I was angry. Angry at the world, at God, at her for leaving me. I was so focused on just surviving that I forgot about living. These past 2 days with you and Ellie, I remembered what that feels like." Victoria reached for his hand. "Is it crazy that I feel like I've known you forever?" "If it is, we're both crazy." She smiled. "I can live with that." They talked until midnight, about everything and nothing, about dreams and regrets and hopes, about what it meant to start over. When Austin finally left, Victoria walked him to the door. "I'd like to see you again," she said. "Not because you saved my life, because I like who I am when I'm with you." "I'd like that too." She kissed his cheek. "Merry Christmas, Austin Beckett." "Merry Christmas, Victoria Ashford." The next day, Austin's phone rang. It was Victoria, her voice tight. "Richard Langford just called an emergency board meeting. He's making a move to have me removed as CEO. Claims I'm mentally unfit after the hospital incident. Someone leaked it to the board." Austin's jaw clenched. "When's the meeting?" "Tomorrow, 10 a.m. I'll be there." "Austin, you can't. It's board members only." "Then I'll wait outside. You're not facing this alone." There was silence on the line. Then, quietly, "Thank you." The next morning, Austin stood outside the Ashford Industries boardroom in his best suit, bought years ago for Sarah's funeral. Through the glass walls he could see Victoria facing down 12 board members, Richard Langford smirking at the head of the table. Austin couldn't hear the words, but he could see Victoria's posture, straight and strong and defiant. The meeting lasted 3 hours. When the doors finally opened, Victoria emerged. Her eyes were red but fierce. She saw Austin and walked straight to him. "They voted to keep me," she said. 8-4. Richard is furious." Austin pulled her into a hug. "Of course they kept you. You're brilliant. He tried to paint me as unstable, claimed I was a liability, but I told them the truth, that I'd been struggling, that I'd made a mistake with medication, but that I was getting help, that hiding our struggles doesn't make us strong, acknowledging them does, that I was implementing new wellness programs for all employees, starting with executive leadership, that Ashford Industries would be a company that prioritized mental health." "What did they say?" "Half of them started crying. Turns out everyone's struggling with something. We just don't talk about it." Austin smiled. "You're changing things." "We're changing things," Victoria corrected. "Austin, I want to offer you a position, Director of Facilities and Employee Wellness. You'd oversee all building operations and develop programs to support employees. Full salary, benefits, office on the executive floor." Austin stared at her. "Victoria, I'm a janitor. You're a man who understands what it means to struggle and survive, who sees people, really sees them. That's worth more than any business degree." She paused. "And I'm not offering this because we're dating. I'm offering it because you're exactly what this company needs." "We're dating, aren't we?" Victoria smiled. "I mean, you did spend Christmas with me, met my family, saved my life. That's at least third date territory." Austin laughed. "Guess we skipped a few steps." "So what do you say? Take a chance with me?" He thought about Maya, about the future he could give her, about Victoria, about the way she made him want to be brave again, about second chances and new beginnings. "Yeah, let's do this." Austin's first day as Director of Facilities and Employee Wellness was terrifying. He walked into his new office on the 48th floor, floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking Manhattan, mahogany desk bigger than his old apartment's living room. His nameplate gleamed on the door. "Austin Beckett, Director." "Fake it till you make it," he muttered to himself. His assistant Jennifer, a sharp woman in her 50s who'd worked at Ashford for 20 years, appeared in his doorway. "Mr. Beckett, your 9 a.m. meeting with the department heads is in conference room A. I've prepared the briefing materials." "Thank you, Jennifer, and please call me Austin." She smiled. "Austin it is. For what it's worth, the custodial staff is thrilled about your promotion. They're saying maybe someone finally understands what they deal with." That first meeting was brutal. 10 department heads, most twice his age, staring at him with barely concealed skepticism. Richard Langford sat at the far end of the table, arms crossed, smirk firmly in place. "So," Richard said when Austin finished his introduction, "custodial to executive. Quite a leap. Tell us, What exactly qualifies you to oversee facilities operations for a 50-story building? Austin met his eyes. I've cleaned every inch of this building. I know which HVAC units fail in winter, which elevators break down monthly, which bathrooms need renovation. I know the night security guards by name, know which vendors show up on time and which cut corners. I know this building better than anyone in this room. Knowing where the mops are kept doesn't qualify you to make executive decisions, Richard shot back. No, Austin agreed, but understanding the people who keep this building running does. I'm not here to make decisions in a vacuum. I'm here to listen to the people doing the work, the ones who actually know what needs fixing. The facilities manager, a gruff man named Tom, who Austin had worked with on the night shift, spoke up. I've been asking for budget approval to replace the boilers in the sub-basement for 3 years. Every winter, we're one cold snap away from the whole system failing. Nobody listens. Austin pulled out his tablet, made a note. Send me the proposal. I'll review it today. Tom blinked, surprised. That's it? No committee review? No feasibility study? You're the expert. If you say we need new boilers, I believe you. Let's make it happen. Richard's smirk faltered. The other department heads leaned forward, suddenly interested. By the end of the meeting, Austin had a list of 17 projects that had been stalled in bureaucratic limbo, everything from bathroom renovations to updated security systems to better break rooms for the custodial staff. You just committed to millions in spending, Jennifer said after everyone left. Miss Ashford will need to approve the budget. Then let's put together a proposal she can't refuse. Austin spent his first month meeting with every person who worked in facilities. Janitors, security guards, maintenance technicians, groundskeepers. He listened to their complaints, their ideas, their frustrations. He took notes, asked questions, treated them like the experts they were. Word spread through the building. The new director wasn't like the others. He remembered what it was like to be invisible. But not everyone was happy. Richard Langford started a whisper campaign. Austin had only gotten the job because he was sleeping with the CEO. He was unqualified, in over his head, going to crash and burn. Victoria was making decisions with her heart instead of her brain. The company would suffer. Austin tried to ignore it, but the rumors got under his skin. He was working 12-hour days, trying to prove himself, to show he deserved this chance. He came home exhausted, collapsed on Victoria's penthouse sofa while Maya and Ellie played. "You're pushing too hard," Victoria said one evening, sitting beside him. The girls were asleep, Christmas lights twinkling on the tree they'd left up into January. "I have to. Everyone's waiting for me to fail." "Not everyone. The people who matter know you're brilliant." Austin laughed bitterly. "I'm not brilliant, Victoria. I'm a guy who cleaned toilets 6 weeks ago." "Richard's right. I don't belong here." Victoria turned his face toward hers. "Listen to me. You belong exactly where you are. You know why I gave you this job. Not because I care about you, though I do, because you're the best person for it. You see people. You listen. You understand that a company isn't buildings and profits. It's people trying to make a living, to feed their families, to matter. That's worth more than any MBA. The board doesn't see it that way. The board will see results, and you're going to give them results." She kissed him softly. "But you can't do that if you burn out. Delegate, trust your team. And come to bed at a reasonable hour, because Maya asked me yesterday why you're always tired. We need you healthy, Austin. We need you here." He pulled her close, buried his face in her hair. "I'm scared. Scared of letting you down, letting Maya down, proving Richard right. You won't. You're the man who ran toward danger when everyone else ran away. You're the man who sat in a hospital with a stranger's daughter because it was the right thing to do. You're the man I'm falling in love with." Trust yourself the way I trust you." Austin's eyes burned with tears. "I love you too. I think I have since Christmas morning, watching you burn pancakes and laugh about it." Victoria smiled. "They weren't burned, they were caramelized." "They were black, Vic." "Caramelized," she insisted, and they both laughed. The breakthrough came 6 weeks into Austin's new role. The boiler replacement project he'd approved ran into complications. The contractor found asbestos in the sub-basement, requiring an environmental cleanup that would triple the cost and take 3 months. The board called an emergency meeting. Richard pounced. "This is exactly what I warned about. Beckett approved a project without proper due diligence, and now we're facing millions in unexpected costs and potential legal liability. This is what happens when you promote someone based on personal relationships rather than qualifications." Austin sat at the conference table, 12 board members staring at him. Victoria beside him, expression neutral. He'd prepared for this, had all the documentation ready, but his hands shook as he opened his folder. "You're right," Austin said, and Richard's eyebrows shot up. "I approved the boiler project without a full environmental assessment. That was a mistake. My mistake. But here's what I learned from it." He pulled out a report. "I had our team do a comprehensive building inspection. We found asbestos in 17 locations throughout the building. The sub-basement was just the first. If we'd ignored it, continued operating with deteriorating asbestos insulation, we'd be looking at massive legal liability down the road. Worker exposure lawsuits, regulatory fines. The cost of addressing it now, proactively, is $8 million. The estimated cost of lawsuits if someone gets sick? Conservative estimates put it at $50 million, plus criminal liability for executives who knew about the hazard and ignored it." The room went silent. Richard's face paled. Austin continued. "I'm recommending we launch a full building safety audit. Not just asbestos, electrical systems, structural integrity, air quality, everything. It'll cost money up front, but it protects the company long term. And more importantly, it protects the people who work here. Because if we're not keeping our employees safe, we don't deserve to be in business." One of the board members, an elderly woman named Margaret Chen, spoke up. "How long would this audit take?" 4 months. We'd do it in phases to minimize disruption." "And you're confident this is necessary?" Austin met her eyes. "Mom, I spent 6 months cleaning this building. I saw things that worried me then, but I didn't have the authority to do anything about it. Now I do. This building is 60 years old. It needs comprehensive updates. We can do it right on our timeline, or we can wait for something to fail and do it in crisis mode. Your choice." Margaret looked at Victoria. "What's your recommendation?" "I support Austin's proposal," Victoria said firmly. "Employee safety isn't negotiable." The board voted 9-3 in favor. Richard was livid. After the meeting, Margaret approached Austin. "That took courage, admitting your mistake. Most executives would have deflected, blamed the contractor. The contractor did their job. I should have asked for a full assessment up front. I'm learning as I go." Margaret smiled. "We all are, Mr. Beckett. Even those of us who've been doing this for 40 years. What matters is learning from mistakes instead of hiding them. You'll do well here." That evening, Austin got home to find Victoria, Maya and Ellie in the kitchen, flour everywhere, baking cookies. Maya ran to him. "Dad, Miss Victoria is teaching us to make snickerdoodles." "Are they caramelized?" Austin asked Victoria with a grin. She threw a dish towel at him. "You're never letting that go, are you?" "Never." They ate slightly burned cookies and drank milk and talked about their days. Maya told him about her science project. Ellie showed him a drawing she'd made of their family, the 4 of them holding hands under a rainbow. Austin's chest tightened with emotion. Later, after the girls were asleep, Victoria found him on the balcony, looking out at the city. "You okay?" "Yeah, just thinking. 2 months ago I was mopping floors and wondering how I'd make rent. Now I'm making decisions that affect thousands of people, living in a penthouse, falling in love with an incredible woman. It feels like a dream." "It's real," Victoria said, wrapping her arms around him from behind. "You earned this, Austin. The job, the respect, all of it." "I earned you?" She laughed. "No, I'm just excellent luck. Wrong place, right time. Best kind of luck." The first month was chaos. Austin learning his new role, managing departments he'd only ever cleaned, developing wellness programs from scratch. Richard Langford undermining him at every turn, spreading rumors that he'd slept his way into the position, that Victoria was making decisions based on emotion rather than business sense. "Ignore him," Victoria said one evening in her office. They were working late, Maya and Ellie doing homework in the corner. "Richard's been trying to take over since Marcus died. He can't stand that I'm succeeding without him. He's turning people against you." "Against us," Victoria corrected. "But we're stronger than he thinks." She was right. Over the next months, Austin's programs took hold. Mental health days, on-site counseling, flexible work schedules, employee satisfaction surveys. The changes were radical for a corporate environment, but they worked. Productivity increased. Turnover decreased. Ashford Industries started appearing on best places to work lists. The wellness initiative started small. Austin partnered with a local mental health clinic to offer free counseling sessions for employees. He instituted Mental Health Fridays, where employees could take 1 Friday per month off, no questions asked, to rest and recharge. He renovated the break rooms, adding comfortable seating, better coffee machines, even meditation spaces. The pushback was immediate. "We're coddling employees," Richard complained in an executive meeting. "This is a business, not a spa." "It's an investment," Austin countered. "Our turnover rate is 30% annually. Do you know how much it costs to recruit and train replacements? More than comfortable chairs and free therapy. And burned-out employees make mistakes, miss deadlines, call in sick. Happy employees are productive employees." "Where's your data?" Richard demanded. Austin pulled up a presentation. "I surveyed 2,000 employees across all departments. 78% report feeling overworked. 62% say they've considered quitting. 49% say they or someone they know has struggled with mental health but didn't seek help because they feared it would affect their career. We're hemorrhaging talent because we treat people like machines." Victoria leaned forward. "What are you proposing?" "A 6-month pilot program. Full wellness implementation across 3 departments. We measure productivity, turnover, sick days, employee satisfaction. If it doesn't work, we scrap it. If it does, we expand company-wide." The board approved it, though Richard voted against it. Austin threw himself into the work, partnering with HR, meeting with department managers, listening to employees. He learned that the custodial staff worked split shifts that destroyed their sleep schedules, that single parents struggled with rigid 9 to 5 hours, that the customer service team dealt with constant abuse from clients with no support or decompression time. He made changes, consolidated custodial shifts so workers had consistent schedules, implemented flex time for parents, brought in counselors for the customer service team, and gave them authority to end abusive calls without penalty, added lactation rooms for nursing mothers, made the building more accessible for disabled employees. Word spread. Employees who'd worked at Ashford for years, who'd felt invisible and disposable, suddenly felt seen. They started approaching Austin in elevators, in hallways, thanking him, telling him stories about how the changes had improved their lives. One afternoon, a woman named Maria from accounting stopped him. "Mr. Beckett, I just wanted to thank you. The flex time policy, It means I can take my daughter to her chemo appointments without using all my sick days. It means I'm there when she needs me. You gave me that gift." Austin's eyes stung. "How's your daughter doing?" "She's fighting. She's strong. And knowing I can be with her, that I'm not choosing between my job and my child, it makes all the difference." After she left, Austin sat in his office and cried. This was why the work mattered. Not profits or productivity metrics, but people. Real people with real struggles, trying to survive, trying to care for the people they loved. Victoria found him there, wiping his eyes. "What happened?" He told her about Maria. Victoria sat beside him, took his hand. "You're changing lives, Austin. Never doubt that. I just wish I could do more." "You're doing enough. More than enough." She kissed his temple. "And you're teaching me to be a better CEO. I was so focused on quarterly earnings and board approval that I forgot why Marcus and I started this company. To build something that mattered. You reminded me of that." Their relationship deepened in those months. They moved in together officially in March, combining their households. Maya and Ellie shared a massive bedroom in the penthouse, decorated it themselves with purple walls and glow-in-the-dark stars. Austin and Victoria navigated the complicated dance of blending families, of becoming partners in every sense. There were challenges. Maya had nightmares about losing Austin the way she'd lost Sarah. Ellie acted out, testing boundaries, afraid Victoria would choose Austin over her. They went to family therapy, learned to communicate, to reassure the girls that they were all in this together, that love didn't divide, it multiplied. One Saturday morning, Austin taught both girls to make his wife Sarah's famous cinnamon rolls. Maya was quiet, emotional. "Mom used to make these on weekends," she said softly. "She did," Austin agreed. "And she'd want you to keep making them, to remember her and celebrate her and share her recipes with people who love you." "Is it okay that I love Miss Victoria?" Maya asked, tears in her eyes. "Does that mean I don't love Mom?" Austin knelt beside her. "Sweetheart, love isn't a limited resource. Loving Victoria doesn't take anything away from your mum. Your heart is big enough for both. And your mum, wherever she is, wants you to be happy. She'd like Victoria." "You think so?" "I know so, because Victoria makes you laugh, takes care of you, loves you like her own. That's what your mum would want for you." Maya hugged him tight. Ellie joined the hug, then Victoria. They stood in the kitchen, flower-covered and crying, holding each other. A family built from loss and hope and the courage to love again. Austin and Victoria's relationship deepened. Quiet dinners after board meetings, weekend trips with the girls. Maya and Ellie becoming sisters in everything but name. Stolen kisses in empty hallways, learning each other's rhythms and routines, building something real and lasting. They had their first real fight in April. Austin had been working 18-hour days preparing for a board presentation on expanding the wellness programs company-wide. He missed Maya's school play, forgot to pick up Ellie from dance class, snapped at Victoria when she asked him to take a break. "You're doing it again," Victoria said one night, her voice tight. "Pushing yourself to exhaustion, trying to prove you're good enough. I have to be good enough. This presentation determines whether we expand the programs or kill them. Richard's been collecting every mistake I've made, every complaint, building a case against me. If you fail, we try something else. But you won't fail, Austin. You never fail when it matters. What you will do is burn out, push away the people who love you, and end up exactly where I was on that sofa. Is that what you want? Of course not. Then stop. Delegate. Trust your team. And for God's sake, take a day off. The girls miss you. I miss you. We moved in together so we could be a family, but you're never here." Austin's defenses rose. "I'm doing this for us, For Maya's future, so I can provide. We don't need you to provide, Victoria interrupted. We need you to be present. Maya doesn't need a bigger apartment or expensive vacations. She needs her dad at her school play. Ellie doesn't need another toy. She needs you to show up for dance recitals. And I don't need a boyfriend who works himself to death. I need a partner who remembers we're on the same team. The words hit him like a slap. You're right. I'm sorry. I'm so afraid of losing this, of losing you. Victoria's expression softened. You're not going to lose me, but you might lose yourself if you keep going like this. Remember what you told me in the hospital, that Sarah's death taught you the difference between surviving and living. You're surviving again, Austin. I need you to live. He pulled her close. I'm sorry. I'll do better. I'll take this weekend off, spend it with you and the girls, and I'll talk to my team about delegating more. That's all I ask. We're in this together. Let me help carry the weight. The board presentation went better than Austin hoped. He showcased the pilot program results. Productivity up 23%, turnover down 41%, sick days reduced by half. Employee satisfaction scores had skyrocketed. Even better, the story had caught media attention. Business magazines were writing about Ashford Industries' innovative approach to corporate wellness. Recruiting was easier because people wanted to work there. These results are remarkable, Margaret Chen said. I move to approve company-wide expansion of the wellness programs, with Mr. Beckett given full authority over implementation and a budget increase to support it. The vote was 10-2. Only Richard and his ally voted against it. After the meeting, Richard cornered Austin in the hallway. Don't get comfortable. You got lucky with this pilot program. But luck runs out, and when it does, when you inevitably screw up, I'll be there to remind everyone that you're just a janitor playing dress-up. Austin met his eyes calmly. You know what, Richard? You're right. I am just a janitor. A janitor who saw problems and fixed them, who listened to people you ignored, who built something that works because I understand what it's like to struggle. You can spend your energy trying to tear me down, or you can spend it actually helping this company. Your choice. He walked away, leaving Richard fuming, and Austin and Victoria's relationship deepened. Quiet dinners after board meetings, weekend trips with the girls, Maya and Ellie becoming sisters in everything but name, stolen kisses in empty hallways, learning each other's rhythms and routines, building something real and lasting. 6 months after that Christmas, Victoria called Austin to her office. Close the door. He did, concerned by her serious expression. What's wrong? Richard Langford is leaving. He submitted his resignation this morning. Why? Because the board offered me a contract extension. 5 years as CEO, with full authority over executive appointments. He knows he'll never have the power he wants as long as I'm here. Victoria's smile was fierce. We won. Austin pulled her close. You won! This was all you! No, this was us. She kissed him softly. I couldn't have done this without you. You reminded me why I do this work, who I'm doing it for. The employees. Our family. Victoria pulled back slightly. Austin, I know it's fast. I know we've only been together 6 months, but I love you. I love Maya. I love the life we're building together, and I want to make it official. Austin's heart pounded. Are you asking you to marry me? Yes. Victoria smiled. I know it's not traditional, but nothing about us has been traditional. We skipped dating and went straight to life or death. We moved in together after 3 weeks because the girls insisted. We restructured a Fortune 500 company around wellness principles. Why not skip the part where we pretend we're not sure about this? Austin laughed, tears in his eyes. You're serious. Completely. Marry me, Austin Beckett. Let's make this family official." He kissed her, deep and certain. Yes, absolutely yes. They told the girls that night. Maya and Ellie screamed so loud the neighbors complained. They jumped on the bed, dancing and laughing, already planning the wedding. "Can we both be flower girls?" Ellie asked. "Can we wear matching dresses?" Maya added. "Can we have a chocolate fountain?" they asked in unison. Austin and Victoria laughed, holding each other, watching their daughter's joy. "Yes to all of it," Victoria said. "This is your wedding too. We're all choosing each other." The engagement announcement caused a stir at Ashford Industries. Most employees were thrilled, the ones whose lives Austin had changed, who saw him and Victoria as proof that good things happen to good people. But the gossip intensified. Richard's whisper campaign went into overdrive. The janitor was marrying the CEO. It was a fairy tale, sure, but also inappropriate. A conflict of interest. What would the board think? Victoria addressed it head-on at the next board meeting. "I want to talk about my engagement to Austin Beckett. I know there are concerns about conflicts of interest, about optics, about whether our relationship affects my judgment. So let me be clear. I'm marrying Austin because I love him, because he makes me a better person and a better CEO, because our girls are already a family and we're making it official. If anyone has concerns about his position reporting to me, we can restructure. He can report to the board directly, but I won't hide this relationship or pretend it's anything other than what it is, the best thing that's ever happened to me." Margaret Chen spoke up. "Victoria, I think I speak for most of us when I say we're happy for you. Your relationship with Austin doesn't affect your performance. If anything, you've been more focused and effective since you got together. And Austin's programs have been unquestionably successful. As long as there are proper checks and balances, I see no issue." The vote was unanimous to approve Austin reporting directly to the board, removing any direct reporting relationship with Victoria. Even Richard voted yes, though he looked like he'd swallowed glass. After the meeting, Victoria pulled Austin into her office and kissed him breathless. "We're really doing this." "Having second thoughts?" "Not for a second." "You?" "Not a chance." He grinned. "Though I might have second thoughts about that chocolate fountain the girls want." "Oh, we're definitely having a chocolate fountain, and a cake taller than Ellie, and those ridiculously expensive flowers that Maya showed me on Pinterest. We're doing this right." They planned the wedding for September, giving themselves 3 months to prepare. It was chaos. Maya and Ellie insisted on being involved in every decision. Dress shopping became a family affair. All 4 of them squeezed into boutique dressing rooms, offering opinions. They tasted 17 different cakes before finding the perfect one. Vanilla with raspberry filling, because Maya loved raspberries and Ellie loved vanilla, and compromises mattered. Austin's parents flew in from Texas. They'd never understood his decision to move to New York, to work as a janitor. But when they met Victoria and saw Austin's happiness, his mother cried. "You found your way back," she told him. "After Sarah died, we were so worried. You were so lost, but you found your way home." Victoria's family was more complicated. Her parents had passed away years ago, but her younger sister Amanda flew in from California. Amanda was skeptical at first, protective of Victoria, worried that Austin was using her for money or status. But after spending a weekend with them, seeing how Austin and Victoria were with each other, with the girls, she apologized. "I was wrong about you," Amanda told Austin over brunch while Victoria and the girls were at the bathroom. "I thought you were another opportunist, but you really love her. You see her, not just the CEO or the money. You see my sister. Thank you for that." "She saved me as much as I saved her," Austin said quietly. "Maybe more." The wedding day was perfect. September in New York, the leaves just starting to turn, crisp air and blue skies. They held it in Central Park at the Bow Bridge, Victoria's favourite spot. 50 guests, all people who mattered. Employees from Ashford Industries who'd become friends. Austin's custodial crew, dressed in suits they'd bought just for the occasion. Victoria's executive team, Margaret Chen and most of the board members. Maya walked Austin down the aisle, her hand in his, both of them crying. She wore a lavender dress she'd picked herself, her hair in the French braid Victoria had taught her to do. When they reached the altar, Maya hugged him tight. "I'm so proud of you, Dad. Mum would be proud too. I love you, sweetheart. Thank you for being brave with me." Then Ellie came down the aisle as flower girl, taking her job very seriously, placing each rose petal with precision. She wore a matching lavender dress, her blonde curls crowned with flowers. When she reached them, she hugged Austin's legs. "I'm glad you're going to be my real dad now." Austin's heart swelled. He knelt down. "I'm glad too, sweetheart. I love you so much." "I love you too, Dad." Then Victoria appeared, and Austin forgot how to breathe. She wore a simple cream dress, elegant and understated, her dark hair loose around her shoulders. No veil, no train, just Victoria, looking radiant and happy and beautiful. She'd insisted on walking herself down the aisle. "I'm not being given away," she'd said. "I'm choosing. I want everyone to know I'm choosing this." She reached Austin, took his hands. "Hi. Hi yourself. You're stunning." "You're not bad yourself," she teased. He wore a navy suit, no tie, exactly what she'd requested. Casual but elegant, comfortable but special. The ceremony was short and personal. They'd written their own vows. Victoria went first, her voice strong and clear. "Austin Beckett, 6 months ago I was drowning. I'd convinced myself that strength meant isolation, that asking for help was weakness. You proved me wrong. You showed me that real strength is vulnerability, that family isn't something you're born into, it's something you build. You taught me to laugh again, to hope again, to believe that second chances are real. I promise to love you fiercely, to support your dreams, to show up even when it's hard, to be your partner in all things. I promise to love Maya as my own, to raise our girls together with compassion and joy. I promise to remind you that you're enough, exactly as you are, every single day. I choose you, Austin, today and every day." Austin wiped his eyes, took a shaky breath. "Victoria Ashford, I came to New York broken. I'd lost my wife, my career, my sense of purpose. I was surviving, not living. You reminded me what it meant to be alive. You showed me that love isn't about replacing what we've lost. It's about being brave enough to build something new. You made me believe in myself again, in a future I'd stopped imagining. I promise to see you, really see you, not just the CEO, but the woman who burns pancakes and cries at commercials and loves our girls with everything she has. I promise to be present, to show up, to share the weight instead of carrying it alone. I promise to make you laugh, to hold you when you cry, to love Ellie as my own. I promise to choose you every day in big ways and small. You saved my life, Victoria. Now let me spend the rest of mine showing you what that means." There wasn't a dry eye in the crowd. The officiant declared them married. They kissed as their daughters cheered and guests applauded, and Central Park sparkled around them, full of possibility and hope. The reception was at a restaurant overlooking the park, casual and warm. They had the chocolate fountain, which was a massive hit with kids and adults alike. They cut the cake together, fed each other bites while everyone laughed. Austin's former custodial supervisor gave a toast about how Austin had been the best janitor he'd ever managed, and now look at him, marrying the boss. Victoria's CFO, Richard's replacement, toasted to second chances and brave choices. Maya and Ellie gave a toast together. "When Dad first told me about Miss Victoria, I was scared, Maya said. I thought she'd try to replace my mom. But she didn't. She loved me and let me love my mom too. She made our family bigger. Ellie continued. When Mum told me about Austin, I thought he'd take her away from me. But he didn't. He gave me a sister and made our family whole. We're lucky to have them. They raised their apple cider glasses. To family, the one we choose. Everyone raised their glasses, echoing, to family. Austin and Victoria danced their first dance to a song Maya and Ellie had picked. Something about finding home and starting over. They swayed together as the sun set over the park, their daughters dancing beside them, their friends and family surrounding them with love. This is really happening, Austin whispered. I'm married to you. We're a family. We were always a family, Victoria whispered back. This just makes it official. They honeymooned in Maine, all four of them. A week in a beach house where they ate lobster and built sandcastles and stayed up late playing board games. It wasn't glamorous or exotic, but it was perfect. They needed this, all of them together, celebrating the family they'd become. One evening, after the girls were asleep, Austin and Victoria sat on the beach watching the waves. I keep waiting for the other shoe to drop, Austin admitted, for something to go wrong. This is too good. It's not too good. It's what we built, what we chose. And yes, things will go wrong sometimes because life is messy, but we'll handle it together. Victoria took his hand. No more waiting for disaster, Austin. Let's just be happy. He kissed her, tasting salt and promise. Okay, let's be happy. They returned from Maine refreshed, ready to build their life together. They moved out of the penthouse and bought a brownstone in Brooklyn, wanting something that felt more like home. 4 bedrooms, a backyard, a neighborhood with families and dogs and tree-lined streets. The girls helped pick their rooms, paint colors, furniture. It was theirs, built together, every decision a shared choice. Austin thrived in his expanded role. His wellness programs became a model for other companies. He was invited to speak at conferences, to consult with Fortune 500 CEOs about changing corporate culture. He wrote articles for business journals about the importance of seeing employees as people, not resources. The janitor who'd become a director was now a thought leader, proving that sometimes the people closest to problems have the best solutions. Victoria flourished too. With Austin's support, she'd found balance. She still worked hard, still cared deeply about Ashford Industries, but she left at 6 p.m. most nights. She attended Maya's soccer games and Ellie's dance recitals. She took real vacations, trusted her team, delegated responsibilities. The company thrived under her renewed leadership, posting record profits while maintaining the highest employee satisfaction scores in the industry. Their first year of marriage had challenges. Blending families was messy. Maya struggled with jealousy when Victoria and Ellie had mother-daughter moments. Ellie acted out when Austin and Maya talked about Sarah, feeling excluded from that part of their history. They navigated it with patience and therapy and lots of family meetings where everyone got to voice their feelings. One night, 6 months after the wedding, Maya came to Austin crying. "I feel guilty," she sobbed. "I'm happy with our new family, but sometimes I forget about Mom for whole days, like she's disappearing." Austin held her close. "Your mom isn't disappearing, sweetheart. She's part of you. She's in your laugh and your kindness and your stubbornness. Love doesn't erase love. You can be happy now and still miss her. Both things are true. Do you miss her? Every day. But I also love Victoria. Those feelings coexist. My heart's big enough for both, and so is yours." Maya hugged him tight. "Thanks, Dad. I needed to hear that." Victoria had similar conversations with Ellie about Marcus, about how loving Austin didn't mean forgetting her father. They created traditions that honored their past loves while celebrating their present. Every year on Sarah's birthday, they made cinnamon rolls together. On Marcus's birthday, they visited his favorite restaurant. The ghosts were welcome in their home, remembered with love, not relegated to silence. The girls bonded deeply. Maya taught Ellie to ride a bike and helped her with homework. Ellie taught Maya to paint and made her laugh when she was sad. They fought like sisters, loved like sisters, protected each other fiercely. When a kid at school made fun of Ellie for having divorced parents, Maya punched him in the nose. She got suspended, but she didn't regret it. "Violence isn't the answer," Austin told her in the principal's office. He said mean things about our family. "I know, and I appreciate that you defended Ellie. But next time, use words. Tell a teacher, 'You're stronger than your fists, Maya.'" Victoria added, "Though for the record, we're not mad you stood up for your sister. We're proud. Just use better judgment next time." The principal stared at them. "You're not going to punish her?" "She's already suspended," Austin said. "She knows violence was wrong, but she was protecting family. That matters. We'll have a long talk about better ways to handle it, but we're not going to shame her for having a good heart." In the car, Maya hugged both of them. "Thanks for not being mad." "We're always on your side," Victoria said, "even when you make mistakes. That's what family means." Year 2 brought new challenges. Austin was offered a position as Chief People Officer, overseeing all human resources and organizational culture for Ashford Industries. It was a massive promotion with commensurate responsibility. He agonized over the decision, afraid of failing, of overreaching. "You're ready," Victoria told him. "I've watched you transform this company. You've earned this." "What if people say you're just giving it to me because we're married?" "Then they're wrong. I'm giving it to you because you're the best person for the job. And Austin, you need to stop waiting for permission to be great. You're allowed to succeed. You're allowed to take up space. You're allowed to want things and go after them. Stop apologizing for being good at what you do." Her words resonated. Austin accepted the position. He restructured HR, eliminated policies that punished employees for being human, built systems that supported people through life's challenges. Parental leave, flexible work arrangements, mental health resources, career development programs. Ashford Industries became known as a place where people mattered, where you could have a career and a life, where struggling didn't mean failing. Meanwhile, Maya and Ellie grew. Maya turned 13, all attitude and opinions, testing boundaries. Ellie turned 11, creative and sensitive, navigating friendships and identity. Austin and Victoria parented them together, united front, shared decisions, equally invested in both girls' lives. One Saturday, Maya asked to talk to them privately. She sat on the couch, nervous. "I want to legally change my last name to Beckett Ashford, like Ellie. So we match. So everyone knows we're really sisters." Austin's eyes filled with tears. "Are you sure? Your mum's name is still part of me, but so is this family. I want my name to show that. Is that okay?" Victoria reached for her hand. "It's more than okay, sweetheart. We'd be honored." They made it official on the anniversary of Austin and Victoria's wedding. Both girls became Beckett Ashfords, their names reflecting the family they'd chosen and built together. Year 3 brought unexpected joy. Victoria discovered she was pregnant. Neither of them had planned it, both thinking their family was complete, but the news filled them with happiness, tinged with fear. They were older now. Their girls were growing up. Starting over with a baby felt daunting. "We can do this," Austin said, his hand on Victoria's still flat stomach. "We've already done the impossible. What's one more miracle?" Maya and Ellie were ecstatic. They argued over names, painted the nursery together, read pregnancy books cover to cover. When baby James Marcus Beckett Ashford arrived in December, exactly 1 year after that first Christmas, it felt like the universe coming full circle. "Look at that," Austin whispered, holding his newborn son while his daughters peered over his shoulders and Victoria rested in the hospital bed. "We started with 4, now we're 5. "Our family keeps growing," Maya said softly, touching James's tiny hand. "Because love multiplies," Ellie added. "That's what you guys always say." Victoria smiled, exhausted and happy. "Exactly right, sweetheart." Parenting a baby in their 40s while raising teenagers tested them. Sleepless nights while Maya dealt with teenage drama. Diaper changes while helping Ellie with middle school homework. Austin and Victoria tag-teamed, supported each other, found humor in the chaos. Their older girls stepped up, helping with James, learning responsibility and compassion. One afternoon, Austin found Victoria crying in the nursery while James napped. "What's wrong?" "Nothing. Everything. I'm just so grateful. 5 years ago I was ready to give up. Now I have this beautiful, messy, chaotic life. 3 kids, a husband who loves me, a career that matters. I keep thinking I don't deserve it." Austin sat beside her, wrapped an arm around her shoulders. "You do deserve it. We both do. We fought for this, Victoria. We chose to be brave when it would have been easier to stay broken. This is our reward." She leaned into him. "I love you so much." "I love you too. Now come on, James will be up soon and we need to get dinner started. I think it's your turn to burn something." She laughed through her tears. "It's called caramelizing." 5 years later, Ashford Industries had transformed into an industry leader in corporate wellness, featured in Harvard Business Review case studies. Austin had expanded his role to Chief People Officer, overseeing all human resources and organizational culture. Victoria continued as CEO, but with better balance, leaving the office by 6 p.m. most nights, taking real vacations, prioritizing family. Maya was 18, heading to college to study social work, wanting to help people the way her parents had helped each other. Ellie was 16, an artist applying to specialized art programs, dreaming of design school. James was 5, wild and imaginative, keeping Austin and Victoria young and slightly exhausted. The family lived in a brownstone in Brooklyn, more homey than the penthouse, with a backyard where Austin had built a tree house that James claimed as his fort. Victoria still couldn't garden worth a damn, but she tried every spring, and Austin loved her for it. One December evening, Austin found Victoria sitting by their Christmas tree, watching old home videos on her tablet. He sat beside her, wrapping an arm around her shoulders. "What you watching?" "That first Christmas. Look how little they were." On the screen, Maya and Ellie ran around in reindeer pajamas, laughing. Austin and Victoria in the background, looking at each other with the tentative hope of new love. "We've come a long way," Austin said. "We really have." Victoria leaned into him. "Do you ever think about that night? What would have happened if Ellie hadn't found you?" "Every day, but I try not to focus on the what-ifs. I focus on what is, this family, this life, this love." Victoria turned to face him. "I ran into Maria from accounting yesterday. Remember her? The woman whose daughter had cancer?" "Of course. How's her daughter doing?" "In remission. 5 years cancer-free. Maria told me that those flex time policies you implemented saved her sanity during treatment. That being able to be present for her daughter without losing her job made all the difference. She said you gave her family hope." Austin's eyes glistened. "That's why we do it. That's why it all matters." "You've changed thousands of lives, Austin. Not just Maria's. The single parents who can afford childcare because of the salary increases you push through. The employees who got mental health support before they reached crisis. The custodial staff who have consistent schedules and benefits. You did that. We did that, Austin corrected. You gave me the platform, the authority, the support. You had the vision, the courage to push for change, even when people told you it was impossible. She took his hand. Do you remember that first board meeting, when Richard said you were just a janitor playing dress-up? Hard to forget. I was so angry at him, but also proud of you, how you handled it. You didn't get defensive. You owned who you were. You turned what he meant as an insult into your greatest strength. Austin smiled. Being a janitor taught me more about running a company than any business school could have. I saw how the custodial staff was treated, how invisible they were. I saw which executives said thank you and which ones walked past without seeing them. I learned that how you treat the people with the least power says everything about your character. And you taught me that. I was so focused on board meetings and quarterly earnings that I forgot the people who made it all possible. The custodians and the security guards and the administrative assistants. You reminded me that they're not just employees. They're people with families and dreams and struggles. They sat quietly for a moment, watching the snow fall outside their window. James was asleep upstairs. Maya was at college. Ellie was at a friend's house. It was just the two of them, like that first Christmas Eve in the hospital, before their lives became beautifully complicated. I've been thinking about stepping down as CEO, Victoria said suddenly. Austin turned to her, surprised. What? Why? Because I'm 63 years old. Because I've been running this company for 15 years. Because I want to spend more time with James before he grows up. Because Maya's getting married next year, and I want to help plan it without taking calls during dress fittings, because life is short, and I've already almost lost it once. What would you do? I don't know. Travel. Learn to paint with Ellie. Finally learn to cook without burning things. Volunteer. Be a full-time grandma when Maya has kids. Actually read all those books on my nightstand. She looked at him. Be with you. Really be with you, without work hovering over everything. Austin pulled her close. Then do it. You've earned it. The company will be fine. They want you to take over. What? The board. They've been talking about succession planning. Margaret approached me last week. They want to promote you to CEO when I step down. Austin's mind reeled. Victoria, I can't. I'm not qualified to... Stop, she interrupted firmly. You're more qualified than anyone. You understand this company from the ground up, literally. You've transformed the culture. Employees trust you. The board trusts you. I trust you. She cupped his face. You've spent 8 years proving you belong. When are you going to believe it? He took a shaky breath. I'm scared. Good. That means you'll do it right. The day you stop being scared is the day you get arrogant. She kissed him softly. Think about it. No pressure, but know that I believe in you. I always have. Later that night, after they'd gone to bed, Austin lay awake thinking. Him, CEO of Ashford Industries. The janitor who'd mopped these floors now running the whole company. It felt impossible. It felt terrifying. It felt right. He thought about Ellie's small hand, tugging his sleeve that December morning 8 years ago, about Victoria on that sofa, pale and barely breathing, about the split-second decision to help, to show up, to care. That one moment had changed everything, had given him this life, this family, this impossible, beautiful second chance. I'll do it, he whispered into the darkness. If they want me, I'll do it. Victoria stirred beside him. I know you will, and you'll be amazing. And we've come a long way, Austin said. We really have. Victoria leaned into him. Do you ever think about that night? What would have happened if Ellie hadn't found you? Every day. But I try not to focus on the what-ifs. I focus on what is, this family, this life, this love. Victoria turned to kiss him. Best accidental overdose of my life, That's dark, Vic. But accurate. She smiled. You know what Ellie told me yesterday. She said she barely remembers the time before you and Maya. That this has always been her family. Austin's eyes grew misty. Maya said something similar, that she used to be sad all the time, but now she forgets to be sad because she's too busy being happy. We did good, didn't we? Taking that chance. We did great. Outside, snow began to fall, dusting their Brooklyn street with white. Inside, their daughters were baking cookies in the kitchen, music playing, laughter echoing. And Austin Beckett, who'd once been just a janitor with a mop and a dream of surviving, sat beside his wife, the CEO who'd forgotten how to live, until a 5-year-old girl tugged on a stranger's sleeve and changed everything. "Thank you," Victoria whispered, "for showing up that morning, for staying, for building this with me." Austin kissed her forehead. "Thank you for letting me, for taking a chance on a janitor with a big heart and no business degree. Best decision I ever made. Second best." What was first? "Waking up," Victoria said softly. "Choosing to live. Choosing to try again." Austin held her close as the snow fell, and the city sparkled and their daughter's laughter filled the house. Two people who'd lost everything and found each other in the darkest moment. Two people who proved that sometimes salvation comes from the most unexpected places. That love doesn't follow rules or timelines. That family is who you choose, who chooses you back, who shows up when you're drowning and refuses to let go. Merry Christmas, Austin. Merry Christmas, Victoria. And in that moment, surrounded by love and light, and the family they'd built from grief and hope, everything was exactly as it should be. If you enjoyed this story, please consider subscribing to SD Love Stories for more heartwarming tales of unexpected connections and second chances. Hit the like button and share this with someone who believes in the power of showing up, even when it's hard. Because sometimes the person who saves you is the one you never saw coming.